We are so excited to welcome you again to the 777 Prayer and Health Ministries. We are super excited to have you joining us for the segment entitled Your Health and You, a look at health, healing, and restoration in preparation for the soon return of our God and King. We are super excited for the series on healing naturally with herbs. And I am telling you, God is doing some amazing things. God is moving in a mighty way, and just some powerful testimony of God's kindness, what he has been doing. I tell you a quick one. One sister has been struggling with elevated blood pressure, and the blood pressure would not go down. For whatever reason, it would not go down. So she listened to the lecture on the hawthorn berry, and she sent me a message. She said, "Pastor, where can I find this thing? I'm searching for it." And gave some counsels, some instructions, and she found it. And she sent me a text yesterday to say, "No, this is unreal." She said, "This is unreal. This should not be happening." So I said, "What's it?" She said, "My blood pressure, I am getting far better reading than I have experienced over the last 7 years. And I started for the last 2 weeks to take the hawthorn berries and to make some lifestyle changes. And my, Pastor Hay, what a blessing this has been. Does everybody know about this?" So please tell everybody, this is really good in helping my blood pressure. And I am thankful to you and the team for all you have done. Blessings on you, and let us stay faithful. So as someone has used the hawthorn berry along with making lifestyle changes, which I love, that they started to eat better, started to eat on time, started to go to bed on time. And further down in the text, she shared that she is in her bed for a couple of nights. She said by 9 o'clock, she says, "For a couple of nights I could not sleep. I was counting sheep." And I, after a while, started to fall into a routine, and now I am far better. And so we are grateful for what the Lord is doing. It is not because of us, but because of his great mercy. So great things are happening for those who have been practicing the principles of health and have been utilizing God's natural remedies. They have been experiencing the blessings of our King. Now, this morning, we want you to know the information we share is not intended to treat or diagnose any condition. I must put that disclaimer out there. We are not medical doctors. Although we have training in naturopathic and holistic health, we want you to know, do not attempt anything in this lecture, on this conference, in this recording, in this video, now or anytime thereafter, unless you have consulted a healthcare professional, your doctor, your naturopath, someone who can give guidance in utilizing many of these things, the herbs and the information we have shared. We want you to please note that it is for educational purposes only. And this is a disclaimer that is required, ladies and gentlemen. But we want you to understand that we teach from 3 perspectives. We believe in the Bible. We believe in the Bible. It's our rule of faith and practice. And our theme text is 1 Corinthians 10:31. It says, "Whether therefore you eat or drink, or whatsoever you do, do all to the glory." We believe also in good science. I am a firm believer in good science, but the kind of science that supports the Bible, that promotes the Bible, because every true science finds its genesis in God. We believe in inspired writing. We believe in the gift of prophecy. We believe it is one of the identifying marks of God's special people at the end of time. I'm going to share with you a counsel this morning, and I'm going to share with you some tips in ensuing days on the lessons from the experience of John the Baptist. For years, this is from Counsels in Health, chapter 30, page 72, paragraph 1. For years, the Lord has been calling attention of his people to health reform. This is one of the great branches of the work of preparation for the coming of the Son of Man. John the Baptist went forth in the spirit and power of Elijah to prepare the way of the Lord and to turn the people to the wisdom of the just. He was a representative of those living in these last days, to whom God has entrusted sacred truths to present before the people, to prepare the way for the second coming of Christ. John was a reformer. The angel Gabriel, direct from heaven, gave a discourse upon health reform to the father and mother of John. He said that he should not drink wine or strong drink, and that he should be filled with the Holy Ghost from his birth. Lessons on health from the life of John. God has blessed this last day Elijah, even his remnant people, to promote health reform, not anything else apart from this special message, ladies and gentlemen, at this time. We must bring attention to health reform. Enough said. This morning, we want to talk about Vervine. Vervine, anybody know Vervine out there? If you know Vervine, just type it in the chat. Vervine, ladies and gentlemen, Vervine is a slender perennial growing up to 3 feet with it has some stiff, very thin stems and spikes of small kind of lilac flowers that grows on the Vervine. It has long been credited with quote unquote, according to many, magical properties. And it was used in ancient history by the British and the Gauls. It's a traditional herbal medicine in both China and Europe. Dioscorides in the 1st century CE, he called Vervine, quote, the sacred herb. And for many centuries, it was taken as a cure-all. Everything, drink some Vervine, it was very popular if you are from the Caribbean, very popular herb that grew all around. We know Vervine, and it was take Vervine for this, take Vervine for that. And it has been taken as a tonic. It has restorative properties, and it's used to relieve stress and to improve digestive function. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Vervine grows wild through much of Europe and North Africa, as well as China and Japan. It is propagated from the seed in the spring or autumn, and it thrives in well-drained soil in a sunny position. The aerial plants, they are parts of the plant, they are harvested in summer when the plant is in flower. You have blue Vervine, which is a related species, and it's native to North America. It's used medicinally, same as regular Vervine. Now, tell me, Pastor, about Vervine and the constituents in it. I want you to understand that Vervine contains what we call beta iridoids. Now, beta iridoids are, constituent of plants, certain plants and herbs, such as your bitter wood. Bitter constituents is also in your aloes. That's that bitter taste that you have when several herbs have that, which you call the bitter iridoids. And in Vervine, you have what is called verbenin and you have verbenalin. So very two very powerful bitter iridoids in it. You also have volatile oils in Vervine. You have alkaloids, you have triterpene with a very, very important one that is called beta-sitosterol. Beta-sitosterol is in Vervine, and I'm going to tell you about the power of this. It also has flavonoids in it, ladies and gentlemen, and is a great nervine tonic. It is mild, it is bitter, and it is a mild antidepressant herb. Let's talk a little bit about the research that has been done on Vervine. If you're able to see my screen, you're able to see that picture and you're like, oh yeah, I know Vervine. So Vervine, based on research done, ladies and gentlemen, it's from early indicators from research into Vervine, it has estrogenic and progestogenic activity. So it has hormonal effects on the system. It's also stimulates the muscles of the womb and aids in the production of breast milk. I have used this with several women who struggled during that first month or two after birth to produce milk. And let me tell you, one sister, she had to stack up on the refrigerator. Ladies and gentlemen, milk came like a fountain was open. She said, what? I had so much milk in me. I said, blessings. That's the blessing of Vervine. A lot has been done in terms of research on it. And they are still doing more research on Vervine and its anti-inflammatory activity. Verbenelin is an active, verbenelin rather, is an active compound within Vervine. It's strongly bitter, and it may cause some amount of vomiting in high doses, and it also helps to stimulate contraction of the womb. Those what you call midwife back in the day, when mama would not give birth, you know, they give her a cup of Vervine, and let me tell you, baby born. So that's another way that it has been used in traditional folklore medicine. Vervine improves the function of the digestive system and the absorption of food. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there are many of you who are eating and you're not absorbing your nutrients. It's not getting where it needs to be. If you are able to tolerate Vervine, it is a great herb to help in the absorption of your nutrients and of foods into your system fully for overall optimal functioning of the digestive system. Very good, excellent digestive tonic, no doubt about that. I've had it, you know, growing up. It's bitter, but guess what? It is good. Now, one of the big things that we have come across in the research regarding Vervine, it's prized as very restorative for the nervous system, and especially helpful if you're one of those individuals who struggle with nervous tension. Now, it's thought to have a mild antidepressant action and is useful to treat individuals who are struggling with anxiety and nervous exhaustion that follows long-term stress. So if, for example, you're one of those males or females who work in a very high-stressed environment, some individuals who work in the prison, some individuals who work on construction, some builders, men who do very hard work, and you have been exhausted and you're tired and you have expended a lot of energy. Your nervous system is kind of shaken. You know, you see those men who are using those powerful diggers that's just shaking them. You know, this is a good herb that they can utilize to help to restore the nervous system. If you have had a nervous breakdown or you're nearing there, ladies and gentlemen, the benefits of the Vervine is amazing, 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 amazing. I know of someone who was at that point, and ladies and gentlemen, God used this herb in a very, very, very special and powerful way. Ladies and gentlemen, it's also good for individuals who are convalescents. By this, these aging individuals who are, by aiding their digestion and restoring the nervous system, Vervine is an ideal tonic for people recovering from chronic illness. It's helpful if you have a headache. migraines, those of you who trouble with serious migraines out there, the vervine alleviates headaches. And in Chinese medicine, it is used for migraines connected with the menstrual cycle. So you know, ladies, what I'm talking about. Some of you have that serious migraine when it comes to that time of the month. A great herb that you can utilize is your vervine. It is really very helpful for jaundice. It's useful for jaundice, for gallstones for that matter, for asthma, insomnia, premenstrual syndrome, your PMS. It's good for flus and fevers. Yes, vervine is good for flus and fevers. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is fascinating that when someone is struggling to give birth, they utilize vervine, but vervine must not be taken during pregnancy. Of course, we encourage you not to exceed the stated dose, and vervine can cause vomiting if taken in excess. So you need to have the right quantity of vervine, and you can utilize it for its great benefits. Now, we use the aerial parts. They have a tonic effect on the nervous system and digestion, have been used medicinally for thousands of years in Europe and Asia. We also use what we call the dried aerial parts, and the fresh aerial parts are also used as a part of the medicinal as a medicine and as healing. Now, how do you prepare it? Great. You have the tincture, you have the infusion, and you can get the powder. Very, very helpful. You know, it's amazing how helpful it is. You can make a tincture out of it, and this coming Sunday we'll be cooking with Caleb, and we will be talking about natural remedies, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every second Sunday of the month. So you make that tincture, and it is a relaxing, calming tonic. For stress and for anxiety, you can take half teaspoon of the diluted vervine in a glass of water 3 times a day. You can make an infusion of the leaves. You just boil them, put them in 8 to 16 ounces of water in a pot, and you seep that, and it will help to stimulate, you drink that, help to stimulate digestion, and it improves effective absorption of food. You can drink 3/4 cups or 150 milliliters of the vervine regularly, particularly after heavy meals. The powder can be used as a toothpaste. Yes, you can rub it on the teeth regularly to clean and protect them. Vervine is very, very good for, you know, poor what we call oral health. You having challenges with bad breath, and you want to clean up your teeth. Vervine powder is excellent in that regard. Nervous exhaustion, premenstrual syndrome. Cheers for the vervine. Herb number 1 this morning. We hope it was a benefit to you. Now, the second herb that we want to talk about, most of you may know it, ladies and gentlemen. We call it the cramp bark in the Caribbean. You know the cramp bark, and it has these little red berries when it flowers. Has some little red berries there. The bark of it, ladies and gentlemen, the cramp bark, just an excellent herb that can be of great benefit. It very native to both North America, Europe. Cramp bark was recognized early in the 60s in the US National Familiarity as a sedative remedy for nervous condition and as an antispasmodic in the treatment of asthma. As the name implies, the herb's primary medicinal use is to relieve cramps and other conditions such as colic, painful menstruation caused by contraction of muscles. Now, ladies and gentlemen, your cramp bark is what we call a deciduous shrub, or a tree growing to about 13 feet 4 meters with lobed leaves, white flowers, and red oval fruit. They look like berries when you see the cramp bark tree, and there's a picture. Let me see if I can zoom into the picture a little bit more on my screen for your benefit for those who might not be able to see. Okay, let me scroll down now so you can see a bigger picture. So if you've never seen the cramp bark, it looks like this. If you're able to see my screen, this is how it looks. It has a red berry, and it's one of those deciduous shrubs. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason I want you to see these pictures is simply because when you're out in the wild, you can recognize these. When you're in the country, you can see them and you can know these herbs and their benefits. And I am still working. I want to do a series on edible plants and herbs. You know why? Because we don't know how things will be at the end of time. We don't know where you will be or where I will be. Perhaps you will be out there in the wild, running for your life and seeking for refuge. I don't know. Perhaps you'll be asleep, resting in Jesus. And it's good to know what you can utilize in nature. There are edible plants out there that can be eaten and can be of great benefit to you. So just something for you to contemplate. The cramp bark, however, ladies and gentlemen, it has what we call hydroquinone. You know, you have heard about chloroquine. This is a big thing that has been utilized during the pandemic, and some are against and some are for it. Well, it is the same kind of family of constituents that you have the hydroquinones. It has in arbutin, it has in coumarins in there, which is a blood thinner. Scopolamine is a form, a coumarin, a blood thinning agent. It has tannins. 3% of your cramp bark is tannins. It has protoanthocyanin. It has polysaccharides. It has antispasmodic effects on your system. It's a sedative, it's an astringent, and it is a relaxant. Now, let me just take you briefly through the research on the cramp bark. It has been poorly researched, to be honest with you. There is confusion over which of the constituents contain which, and it's closely related to black haw, which is another herb in the family. However, it has been used in American herbalism for years for pains and problems of pain throughout the body. It has been used to treat swollen glands and even mumps. It's a muscle relaxant. It has effects on releasing tense muscles, whether smooth muscle in the intestine, airways, or even the uterus, or striated muscles attached to the skeletal in the limbs or the back. It may be taken internally, applied topically to relieve muscle tension. The herb also treats symptoms arising from excess muscle strain, muscle tension, including breathing difficulties in asthma, menstrual pain caused by the excessive contraction of the uterus. For night cramps and back pain, lobelia, we often mix lobelia with cramp bark as a means of helping individuals with these situations. Now, the herb relieves constipation, it relieves colic, it's very good for irritable bowel syndrome. It's also as well as nervous tensions that individuals struggle with. Now, arthritis, in some cases, ladies and gentlemen, where joint weaknesses and pain have caused muscle to contract until they're very stiff. You hear individuals complain about the stiffness of the joints or the rigidity. The cramp bark can be remarkable as a release and a relief. It helps to relax the muscles and helps with blood flow to the area, and it improves waste products, the elimination of waste products such as lactic acid. They are really removed through the normal function so that you can have less pain in those joints. So the cramp bark is very helpful, and it's good. It's used quite often for high blood pressure. It's another very, very good herb for, along with your hawthorn berries, for high blood pressure and circulatory condition. So if you're struggling with back pain, if you're having breathing difficulties associated with asthma, cramps and muscle spasms, period pain, poor circulation to your hands and feet, or what we call spastic constipation, stomach spasm, a great herb to utilize is your cramp bark. If you're seeing my screen, you will see the bark, and it is stripped of you will see the trunk of the plant, or it's peeled off. The bark is peeled off the tree in strips during the spring and summer. And great care must be taken, ladies and gentlemen, to leave enough bark for the tree to stay alive. So the dried bark is used, the fresh bark, and you can make a decoction for period pain. You would take a third cup of that, which is about 75 milliliters every 3 hours. You can utilize a tincture. It's used for long-term treatment of muscle tension. And for IBS, you can take half teaspoon diluted with hot water twice a day. As a lotion, you can utilize the cramp bark lotion, and it's very helpful to release your aching muscles. You rub that into the tense neck and shoulders, and it will help to relieve the back pain. And so this morning, we celebrate herb number 2, the cramp bark, and its amazing benefits for your health, healing, and restoration. As we say, health for you, health for me, health for all mankind. May I pray with you this morning. Father in heaven, you have said the herbs have been given for the healing of the nation. You have said that in the new earth, in the new Jerusalem, in the earth made new, there will be the tree which is for the healing of the nation, that tree that perpetuates life, that tree that the saints will be able to promulgate life. It was in Eden, and it will be in Eden restored. You have utilized herbs in your ministry, and utilizing your servants as they minister on your behalf, using these natural remedies to be a blessing to the nation. God, I don't believe that you have lost the capacity to still use these things of nature to bring hope and healing and blessing to your people. Oh, may we take heed at this time and learn these things, for the window is closing, and it's closing rapidly, and the days will not soon be hence when these opportunities will be no more. May we embrace them, may we learn, may we utilize, and may we take counsel now before the time of too late. Bless your people, prosper every person who will listen to this lecture, utilizing according to instructions the things given. And we pray that their health will spring forth speedily, and your name will be glorified, is my prayer. In Jesus' mighty and powerful name, amen and amen. Please note, if you need counsels and guidance, you can always reach us at 646-799-1513 or 777prayerconference.org. May God bless you richly, and may he cause his face to shine upon you as you continue to live for him.